Welcome to Root Stem and welcome to painting this Nightbringer. Hi guys, thank you very much for joining me. In today's video, I'm just going to go through the techniques and details that I used to paint this lovely Nightbringer with a bit of a galaxy effect on the undercloak. It is an airbrush tutorial, just letting you know. And of course we used some Green Stuff World colour shift paint, as well as some older techniques I've done before, just to be able to get a bit of a galaxy on the underneath. I'll be going through and just telling you what techniques to use, when to use them, and of course what implements I've used at the time. There's a bit of dry brushing, of course. There's always a bit of dry brushing when I do any painting, because I like it. It's quick, it's simple, and you know, if you give it a varnish, it tends to be okay. Right, let's crack on. Okay, so the first step is to prep the Nightbringer. I've got my basic material on, and I've also hit it with some Chaos Black spray. We're now going to coat the actual bodywork of the Nightbringer in hard coat gloss varnish. That's important for later. So unfortunately a little bit of footage was lost, but I did apply the hard coat, of course, to the legs, arms, anywhere that I was going to actually use Psychotic Illusions from Green Stuff World. So we've got that down for the main part of the body, and I've just tidied up with some of the black. I'm still looking to see if I missed anything. I did mask off most of the actual area, although I did keep these clean because I'm wondering whether or not some of the fingers, as they extend, try and keep hold of that, and then when I do the staff later on, I'm going to make sure that they keep and stay where they're supposed to be. We're now going to hit some highlighting. I'm going to get some Dark Reaper. I'm going to highlight the black just in sort of little corners, and then we'll dry brush a little bit on there as well. So we've hit the Nightbringer with spots on where we believe the light would occur with the Dark Reaper. I'm about to go and go to the dry brush, but I've also gone and painted the silver and then Nuln Oil wash. Well, I've kind of diluted the Nuln Oil with a little bit of contrast medium onto the scarab swarms. So all of these are now kind of painted, but not as well. They're being generated, in my eyes, they're being generated as the Nightbringer's moving forward, so they'll not be old, they'll be brand new. So I've done them. Now we're going to go on to the dry brush. Let's get the dry brush sorted. So we've dry brushed it with the Dark Reaper, followed by Mechanicus Standard Grey. So a nice bit of dry brushing going on. We've got the model looking okay, especially with that Psychotic Illusions. Now what I'm going to do on the underskirt, coming out on his ass, I am going to put a galaxy effect onto the cloak. So I'm wanting kind of the idea that there's like a nebulous galaxy underneath the actual cloak itself. Again, I'm going to have to do a lot of masking on this, because we're going to have to mask the legs. We're going to have to mask this cloak on here to make sure that I don't get any overspray on there. I'm going to have to mask his legs and feet. I could have done it first, but I think if I had done it first, it might have been harder to mask the more deeper recess pieces than it actually is to mask the more prominent in my face bits. It's been a while since I've done a nebulous style galaxy with an airbrush, so this will be interesting. So we are masked. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get this recorded. We're going to be using some Game Air White. This is Dead White, and we're going to be putting that as kind of like a making sure that's working. Don't be doing this to me. Oh, don't be splurging like that, mate. Need to clean that brush, but we're going to be doing it into the recessed crevice. I'm trying to get it recorded because it's been a while since I've done this. I think you guys, rather than just saying this is what I did, I'm kind of going to show you guys what I did, if you get me. But I'm not going to be able to show you properly. So, in we go. Galaxy. So we put in the white. Next up, we've got some Oluffian blue. We've thinned it really quite far down. It's not strong, and we're going to kind of go around what we've already done, but kind of leave the center white as best we possibly can. We're now going in with some Druchii Violet. We're going to kind of catch the edges, maybe do a little spots every now and again inside. So this is with the Druchii Violet. This is a wash, so you normally can get it through with just a bit of water through your airbrush. Next up, we have Carroburg Crimson mixed with Emperor's Children. Again, we're going to try and spot it about, and then we're going to then try and, once we've done that bit, we're then going to come straight in with some straight Emperor's Children. Finally, Emperor's Children. Final bit is to go back to some white. So I'm going to reinforce that middle, and then I'm going to put little spots of it, and then put some clusters of stars in. A little bit of stars, we have the galaxy at his feet. Now I'm prepping for some yellow trim. What we are actually going to do, I've masked off with some parafilm, but bits that I don't actually want to get covered. I've got some cardboard that I've cut, some cereal packet that I've cut down so I can actually block off, and on towards the edges of here we're going to paint white. So I've got my airbrush white. We're going to try and transition it on so that it's got a feathered effect. So we don't want it to go all the way up, because then we're going to use yellow, because that's what the client wants. It's not my colour, but there we go. And we're going to kind of use the white at the edge, have it feathered, and then when we use the yellow we're going to go deeper in, so that you're going to have a transition and it's going to look pretty cool by the time we've done with it. So all of these bits that are starting to form into sort of square bits, we're going to spray some yellow on the end. Same at the opposite side, same kind of down here. All of those bits there we're going to have a yellow tint to it. We're going to mask it off to make sure that we don't get white paint and then the yellow paint anywhere else. So yellow has been airbrushed on. We've even yellowed up these particular pieces here as best as I possibly can. I didn't whiten them first because I wanted them to be a little bit darker with them actually coming off the scarab swarms. Now I'm going to get the, it was Avalon Sunset, that was the yellow that I actually used on these. I'm going to get it and dry brush the lightning spokes. I'm not going to dry brush the edges, they're fine for this moment in time, but I'm going to dry brush the lightning spokes because I kind of like some of the black in there, and I like the little mixture of different shades of yellow that we're getting. So I'm going to hit that with a dry brush now of Avalon Sunset. Dry brush done, we've now got some Flash Kits yellow, a nice thin brush, and I'm doing the edges of everything. Nice and thin paint. It's going to take some time. Get yourself some music on, get your headphones on, let's get your head down, let's get that edge highlighting done. So, got yellow a little bit more done. I've also, if I can zoom in there we go, I've got a bit of yellow in the mush. I'm going to put some wash into that, and I've finished the scythe by using the Psychotic Illusions across the top. Because of the white that we put in earlier, that's giving it a more of a, definitely a two-tone going across with a little kind of edge highlighted yellow, just to try and match the rest of the yellow that's coming through. Right, I'm going to put some wash. It'll probably just be some yellow, Cassandra yellow, into the mouth to try and darken it off a little bit. I might even put it onto some of these, kind of like the nodule tops on the scarab swarms. Just maybe not right. I might just put a bit of contrast in there just to try and make sure it settles more in the recess. And then I'm going to paint that blade there black. So mouth check, sword's been done, check. We've got the scythe done black. I know it's kind of matching the cloak, but it's a black. It's black on black. We've got the yellow coming in, check. Now we've just got to do the base. So do the base whatever you're wanting. I'm going to be doing it with an airbrush, just so I can try and keep some of this yellow overspray. And then I might even give it a bit of a dry brush of yellow once I've done. I've got my base sorted. Oh, probably flying into anyway. And then that's it. Quite nice, quite easy-ish, simple. You've got a nice bit of sort of like a galaxy right in the middle of its chest, and of course you've got all the nice little bit of shading. I would have preferred to have done it green, but my friend Steve likes it to be yellow, so that's what we have. But you can replace whatever I've used for the actual yellows themselves, just replace with a different colour. You could use a completely different colour shift as well if you wanted to on the body. Just make sure you're masking it off, and jobs are good in that. They actually didn't take me that long to paint up. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button if you do want to see more. And we'll see you in the next video.